Kia ora, good morning everyone, Richard Wong here, welcome back to the channel. So this is HoloLens Lark Max. It is HoloLens' latest flagship wireless microphone. This kind of wireless microphone systems have been really popular recently. They offer great flexibility as they are suitable for many different kind of usage, very easy to carry, and the price is now also very affordable. So there are two different versions of the HoloLens Lark Max. One is the Duo, which has two transmitters, and it is what HoloLens has sent me for this review. And there's also the Solo version, which has only one transmitter. Apart from the different number of transmitters that comes with each of the package, one other main difference is that the Duo version comes with a charging case, while the Solo version only comes with USB cable for charging. With the Duo version, put the transmitters and the receiver into the charging case, and that would charge them using the charging case huge 2800 mAh built-in battery. It extends the battery life of the transmitter from 7.5 hours to a total of 22 hours, which is quite a lot. The charging case feels very nice. It has some special coating on the outside, which not only make it not so slippery, but also make the whole unit feel a lot more premium. On the outside of the charging case, there are 4 LED which tell you the battery status of the charging case. There are also LED inside the charging case to show you whether it's charging the receiver and the transmitters or not. There is some kind of magnetic locking mechanism inside the charging case that will snap the transmitters and the receiver and keep them there. But there were once or twice when I put the transmitter or the receiver inside the charging case, I noticed the charging LED indicator didn't turn on, so I have to slightly move the transmitter and the receiver. Then I see the charging LED indicator would turn on, and that tells me that the transmitter and the receiver are charging. As I said, it only happened once or twice during the last few weeks when I was testing this Lark Max, so it's not really a major issue, but I want to mention it in this review anyway. And now let's have a look at the transmitter and the receiver. The size of the transmitter and receiver are pretty compact. They also have that special texture on the outside that makes them not slippery and also feel nice when you hold it. A lot of similar wireless microphones in the market, quite often they feel quite plasticky and cheap. This is definitely not the case for this HoloLens Lark Max. The transmitter and the receiver would automatically power on when you take them out from the charging case, but there is also a power button on both the transmitter and the receiver if you want to manually turn them on or off. At the top of the transmitter is the omnidirectional built-in microphone, but there is also a 3.5mm input jack for you to connect an external microphone. There isn't any lapel mic included with the Lark Max, so you will have to buy it separately if you want to use a lapel mic. There's a button on the transmitter for you to trigger the internal recording feature, and also another button to enable the noise cancellation feature. I'll talk about both features a little bit later on in this review. At the back of the transmitter, there is a clip so you can clip the transmitter onto your shirt. Each transmitter also comes with a magnet and a magnetic mount, so you could either directly stick the transmitter onto a metal surface or use the magnet to attach the transmitter onto your shirt, which is what I'm doing right now. So that just gives you a lot of flexibility in terms of how you can attach your transmitter. The receiver has a 1.1-inch AMOLED color screen which displays all the important information that you need to know, like the real-time audio level, connection status, battery level, signal strength, etc. The screen is also a touch screen, so you can use it to access and change all the settings. But I'm glad that HoloLens also added a physical knob on the side, which you can also use it instead of the touch screen to change the settings. I said that because the screen is quite small, so I found it easier and quicker to use the physical knob instead of the touch screen to change the settings. But both works, so you can choose whatever that you prefer. But this alone already makes me prefer this HoloLens microphone compared to the two other most popular choice in the market right now. I'm talking about the DJI mic and the Rode Wireless Go 2. The DJI mic manual system can only be controlled by using the touch screen. The screen size is very similar to the one on this HoloLens Lark Max, and I also found using just the small touch screen on the DJI sometimes just make it harder. And for the Rode Wireless Go 2, it requires you to connect the microphone to either your computer or a smartphone if you want to change settings, which I found it's just not very convenient and also much slower process as well. So if you want the easiest and quickest way to adjust settings, the Lark Max is the best option in my opinion. I'm not going to go through all the settings that's available on this Lark Max as there are quite a few, but I will talk about some of the most important settings later on in this review. While some of the settings are only accessible from the receiver through its manual system, for example, if you want to change the date, time, or format the built-in memory, or changing the brightness of the LED between normal and low. Oh, by the way, HoloLens, I would like to see an option to turn off the LED completely instead of just dimming it. But anyway, most of the frequently used adjustments such as volume control, triggering the noise cancellation or the transmitter recording can all be changed using the transmitter, but also the receiver as well. So this is really great as sometimes you may want the videographer to control everything, but sometimes if you are just filming yourself, then you would like to change the settings from the transmitters directly. So yeah, you have more flexibility on how you can change the settings. Another thing I want to mention is the screen is located on the side, not the top of the receiver. So it means if you mount the receiver onto your camera's hot shoe mount, you can see the screen and monitor the status very easily. However, one downside of this design is that if you want to shoot some vlogging style video, so you are holding the camera and facing it yourself, now you cannot see the screen at all. The receiver has a 3.5mm audio output for you to connect it to your camera. There's also a headphone jack, a USB-C port for you to connect to your smartphone or computer, which I will go through with you in a minute. Overall, I think the design of the transmitter and receiver are both very nice. They look and feel premium, and everything is just very easy to use. For a microphone, no matter what sort of microphone it is, the most important thing is the audio quality. It doesn't matter what fancy feature or design the microphone has. If the audio quality is not good, then it's really not that good. And I will tell you the audio quality of this HoloLens Lark Max is just fantastic. The audio you hear in this video is recorded using the HoloLens Lark Max built-in microphone on the transmitter, and I haven't done any editing at all in terms of audio. But you can also plug in your own microphone to the transmitter that will give you more flexibility and potentially also improve the audio quality. And now here is another quick test to show you the audio quality captured by this HoloLens Lark Max. Kia ora, good morning everyone, Richard Wong here, welcome back to the channel. I'm now recording the audio using the HoloLens Lark Max using the built-in microphone on the transmitter. Kia ora, good morning everyone, Richard Wong here, welcome back to the channel. I'm now recording this audio using the HoloLens Lark Max using a lapel mic, which is also from HoloLens, but this lapel mic is not included in the package, so you have to buy it separately. Okay, now let's do some outdoor testing of this HoloLens Lark Max microphone in an outdoor area. So I'm now recording using just the built-in microphone on the transmitter. I have used the provided windshield cover installed on the transmitter to help me cut down the amount of wind noise. And I'm now standing right next to a roundabout, so you can probably see there's quite a bit of traffic behind me, and you can probably also hear the traffic noise and background noise right now. And the next thing I'm going to do is to enable the noise cancellation feature and see whether it helps improve the audio quality or not. So to enable it is pretty easy. There's a button here on the transmitter. So I just press it, and now the noise cancelling feature should be enabled. So can you guys hear the difference with the noise cancellation feature now enabled? Is the audio quality, is my voice any clearer compared to before? Okay, now let's head back to my home studio and continue the review. So what do you guys think about the audio capture by this HoloLens Lark Max? I found the audio capture by this microphone is very clean. There is very minimal amount of noise and the audio sounds pretty natural, even I'm just using the transmitter's built-in microphone. I would even say the audio quality from this HoloLens Lark Max is quite easily the best that I have seen or heard from this kind of wireless microphone system. So HoloLens claims the maximum transmission range of this Lark Max is 250 meters or 820 feet when there is direct line of sight. So I went to my usual outdoor test place to test the direct line of sight distance. While the place that I went to is a pretty big open area, but the maximum distance that I can travel while still has direct line of sight was just about 200 meters. So that's the maximum range that I could test. And at 200 meters, the audio transmission is still perfect. Then I did an indoor test here in my room, which is a 2-story wooden house. So I placed the receiver in this room and then I wear the transmitter and walk around the house. So I noticed when I walk up to the second floor and the audio would start to cut out a little bit. And when I'm at the opposite end of the house, then audio would cut out completely. Now this is a 2.4 GHz microphone and it is a common limitation that the 2.4 GHz system need direct line of sight for best transmission. But my house is not really that big and I definitely have better results with some other 2.4 GHz microphone system when I test it here. Fortunately, the HoloLens Lark Max can record audio internally on the transmitter. If you use that feature, then you don't have to worry about audio cutout or any kind of interference, as you always have a backup audio recorded directly on the transmitter that will be always perfect. Okay, now let's talk about the transmitter recording feature. Each of the Lark Max transmitter has 8 GB of internal memory, and that would allow you to record 14 hours of 48 kHz 24-bit high quality uncompressed wave format audio onto the transmitter directly. Ever since I used some other microphone that has the similar kind of built-in recording feature like the Synco G3, I found it is a super useful and important, almost essential feature for any wireless microphone system, as you just never know when your wireless audio will suddenly get audio dropout or interference. Having the transmitter to record the audio internally means you will always have a backup copy of audio available that won't suffer from any transmission issues. So you may not need to use that backup copy, but it is a great insurance when you do have audio issues. You can just use the audio recorded on the transmitter to replace the problem audio. And since the audio recorded on the transmitter is uncompressed and doesn't have to be transmitted wirelessly, the audio quality should be also a little bit better than the audio received by the receiver as well. Having said that, I did some testing and I would say the difference between the audio received by the receiver and the audio recorded internally by the transmitter is quite small. Testing 1, 2, 3. I'm testing the record audio quality using this HoloLens Lark Max. Testing 1, 2, 3. I'm testing the record audio quality using this HoloLens Lark Max. You can manually trigger the transmitter recording feature by pressing this button on the transmitter, or you can do it from the receiver as well. but you can also enable the auto record feature, which means every time when you take the transmitter out from the storage case, the transmitter will start record to its built-in memory automatically. For myself, I have this auto recording feature turned on, as otherwise I would always forget to trigger the transmitter recording. And because of this transmitter recording feature, you could also just use the transmitter as an audio recorder by itself. So that means you have a very small standalone audio recorder that comes with this HoloLens Lark Max. To transfer the audio file from the transmitter to your computer, you just need to connect the transmitter to your computer using a USB cable. It is very quick and easy, and because the file that is recorded on the transmitter is just a standard WAV format file, so you could use this file immediately in any of the audio software. I think the internal recording feature is really great overall. The only improvement that I want to see in this area is having a compressed recording option. While currently 14 hours recording is still quite a lot, to be fair, but if there is a compressed format, it would easily double or triple that or even more. So for people who enable the auto record feature, having longer internal recording time is definitely not a bad idea. So now let's talk about how you can use this HoloLens Lark Max microphone. If you want to connect it to your camera, you can use the provided 3.5mm TRS cable to connect the receiver to your camera. Or you can connect the Lark Max receiver to your smart device using either the included USB-C to USB-C cable or the USB-C to Lightning cable, depends on what kind of smart device you have. If your smart device doesn't support USB-C or Lightning microphone input, you can use a TRS to TRRS cable instead. However, this TRS to TRRS cable is not included, so you have to buy it separately. If you want to connect the Lark Max to your computer, you can also do that, as well, as the Lark Max is a USB audio class device, so it will be recognized as a microphone when you plug it into a Mac or Windows computer using the USB cable. And as I've just mentioned in the last section, you can use the transmitter by itself as an audio recorder and record to its built-in memory. So no matter what sort of workflow and equipment that you use, you should be able to use this HoloLens Lark Max to record audio for you. With this HoloLens Lark Max, there are 3 different recording options available. You can record it as stereo output, which means the audio from each transmitter will be saved as a separate channel. So for example, if you are shooting interviews, each person's voice will be captured as a separate channel in the audio file, so you can adjust the volume of each person separately during post-processing. Or you can record as mono output, which means the audio from the 2 transmitters will be mixed together as a mono output. This option is great if you don't really want to do any audio mixing in post-processing, but you have to make sure the audio level for each transmitter is set up correctly before recording, as you cannot control the audio level separately during post-processing. The last option is to record audio with a safety track. One of the worst things that could happen to your audio is the audio input is just too loud and clipping. So audio would sound horrible and there is nothing you can do to recover that. Well, unless you have a safety track that is recorded in a lower level. So with this HoloLens Lark Max, if you enable this feature, then you have a safety track that is recorded at a lower level, which seems to be approximately 6 dB from what I see. And that means if you find your audio is too loud and is clipping on the normal channel, you can use the safety track to help you recover from clipping. The HoloLens Lark Max is the most perfect wireless microphone that I have ever used. The design is fantastic, the build quality is great, it is really easy to use and set up, and it offers pretty much all the features that I want and all the features works very well as well. But the most important thing is the audio quality. The audio quality from this HoloLens Lark Max is simply fantastic. The audio is very clean, very low noise level. The audio quality is just better than all the other similar microphone system that I've ever used. But while this is such a great microphone, it is still not 100% perfect. I've mentioned some of the small issues I noticed and some of the potential improvements, but there's one more thing that I want to mention, and it is about the design of the charging case. Now, don't get me wrong, I love the charging case. It is a great feature that helps me extend the battery life of the transmitters and the receiver, and it is also solidly made, but probably because HoloLens want to make the charging case as small as possible, there's no space inside the charging case to store any cable or accessories or lapel mic. Instead, there is a bigger soft case that comes with the kit that you can put the charging case inside that bigger soft case. So there is an area inside the soft case to store the cables and other extra accessories. So the good thing is, the charging case, the transmitter, receivers are all very well protected inside that outside soft case. But the soft case does make the whole system quite a bit bigger than it need to be if we don't have this double case design. I'm not too mad about it, but really wonder why it is like that, because no matter you want to use this HoloLens Lark Max with your camera or smartphone or computer, you still have to carry the bigger soft case, as there's just no room inside the charging case even for just a small cable. But this is pretty much all I can complain about this HoloLens Lark Max. If you are looking for the best quality and also the most versatile wireless microphone system in the market, the HoloLens Lark Max is what I would recommend to you right now. I've just confirmed another overseas trip next month, and I'll be shooting a lot of videos during that trip. And this HoloLens Lark Max microphone is what I'm going to take with me.